In this episode, we visit the Margaret River Sculpture Park as we continue to investigate the evidence of a mega tsunami along the coast of Western Australia. This is the Margaret River region of the southwest of Western Australia, also known as the Cape to Cape region. From Cape Leeuwin in the south to Cape Naturaliste in the north, there's a distinct and abrupt change in vegetation from coastal heath to mature forest. This change in vegetation is due to a saline sand layer that looks like it's been washed in from the coast. The sand layer is approximately 5 metres high and runs the entire 90-kilometre length of the Margaret River region. Every other coastal area that I've visited and studied has a gradual change in vegetation from the water's edge very salt tolerant plants right the way through to gradually taller and more mature vegetation, and eventually some hundreds of metres inland we find the mature forest, the climatic climax vegetation type. But here, in Margaret River, is a literal line in the sand. Prior to this tsunami event, there may have been a more usual gradual vegetation change, although there is nowhere along this coast that was not affected. On to the event itself. In some tsunami locations, the sea backwash does not happen, just an inundation event. But the sand wave evidence here indicates that the seabed was exposed in the classic pre-tsunami backwash. The tsunami waves carried with them a huge amount of sand that was scours from the continental shelf and the local seabed. The land was inundated with sand and saline salt water. After the waves retreated, the sand layer remained. The mature forest was gone, but eventually was replaced by the current coastal heath. This line is clearly visible on Google Maps today. To get a full appreciation of this sand layer, it is important to visit the area and see for yourself actually on the ground. And by drone. Margaret River Sculpture Park is located in the Hamelin Bay area just off Caves Road. The park is a visitor attraction that's open most days and was created by a local artist and craftsman, Brendan Booth. Make sure you check out the indoor gallery, which showcases Boothie's artwork and also his bespoke handmade furniture. Hello, today I'm at Hamelin Bay in the Margaret River region of the southwest of Western Australia, and I'm at the Margaret River Sculpture Park. Now, in investigations of Google Maps, this looks like just the edge of where I think the wave actually came in. And what I've got here is 2 different samples of soil, one from either side of the line. There is literally a line in the sand, and on one side you get sand and on the other side you get mature peat. The same thing with the vegetation. On the water side you get coastal vegetation, salt tolerant plants, and just further inland from that one you get mature forest with really huge Karri trees. The park's location is important as it's actually the furthest point inland touched by the wave in the entire Cape to Cape region, reaching in as far as 4.2 kilometres from the current ocean edge. The waves here were funnelled in between 2 high points, Borenup Ridge to the north and Leeuwin Ridge to the south, both of which hit 225 metres above sea level. On Google Earth, the extent of the wave is clearly visible. The powerful tsunami wave swash action is also visible in the clear tsunami chevrons. The point of the chevron indicates the direction of the wave swash. Margaret River Sculpture Park is located on the sand layer, but the sand wave snout cuts across the edge of the property. Tsunami evidence is merely sand deposits which are disturbed by any human activity. As you can see, this area is not pristine or undisturbed. And right next to the sculpture park is actually a new property development on the sand layer itself. This does mean, however, we can more easily access the sand wave snout and even take samples. Before European settlement, all of the farmland inland from the sand wave snout was mature Karri Tree forest. Only small pockets of the woodland remain, and there is no farmland whatsoever on the sand layer. Margaret River is also known as a premium wine growing region. As you might guess, vines do not grow on the sand layer. Down on the ground, the first place we investigate on our bushwalk is the sand pit.
This is probably the same elevation as the back, yeah? So it's like this, yeah? And it's down off that, into that neighbour. Along that fence line is where your vegetation starts sort of changing. It's debatable, that corner of... So in here, you got... This goes through another 500 metres, and then it's back into a farm paddock again, but there's still just peppies, and it's that corner of going up to Caves Road where you come round that corner. But on that top side of it, there's big carries right there, but there's a big drop off. And the corner goes like that, and the carries stop. And there's, you know, so maybe in this corner of, then down into the bottom of the hill there, and then it's carries again. Rocky stuff, maybe. Like between the black and the. Huh, just going to say there's no shell. What do you reckon? I reckon. It's like a sieve. So you get these white patches in amongst the yellow and the rock, but hang on.
I'll drop that in.
The white there.
Yeah.
You know, you just get all these different little. But yeah, down at the water table, I think they're down another 10 feet there, probably water. So the sand dune that may have tsunamied over here, or no, it's definitely a tsunami. It's blowing in, and all of my property's all sand. And you get to the back, and it just drops about 15 metres over the falls, like that last bit of it getting dumped by the 800-foot wave, of which we'll go and have a look at. I think the neighbours run a machine through here now, so yeah, sometimes the sticks come alive. So also the vegetation starts getting, it's still here, so this is all, it's all peppies, and it becomes inundated with water in winter because it turns back into Karri loam, and then it becomes a lake all winter with a migratory bird population. Oh, this is my place. Different coloured dirt, and then, but that what looks like nice black soil, it's basically peat. It's broken down trees, and you know that turns into that. That'll go all the way down. Black sand stops here, all over. And then into the paddock. So we're down at the paddock height now. And you know, you should probably, well, I've got a big hole up on my plate that, you know, it's 3 stories deep, that shows you hard bits, sand bits, but it's not that side. There's a big sand pit next door with a lake, and he's down on the water table, whereas illegally dug deeper than he's meant to. His name is it sounds. Yeah, sand. No more sand. Right there. I tried digging it up and putting it in the garden, but it's see how it's that's peat. It's suffocated all my garden. It looks awesome. It'd be good to test that, but that's just peat, like broken down trees, you know. But you take some of it. It's definitely not sand. Might be halfway to diamonds. Going halves. Like it looks like a gardener's dream. I wouldn't smoke it. Don't smoke it. Not hash. That's just peat. If you mix that with manure and seaweed and and composted it, sure. This is all just coastal heath. Up the back corner, it's all taller, like this back of the property. Probably because there's water, it's close to the water. Although the water's underneath all there. Morning sun. They're getting more water for sure. As opposed to the front's a bit more open and sandier, but full of whiteouts too, yeah?
Yep.
Why is there all this dust in here? I'm like, fucking look at the sand pit. Oh, don't be ridiculous. 93% calcium carbonate. They say. Well, that was the report when I moved here.
Two different samples so close together.
That's the wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the sand stops right there.
So so these two samples are 20 meters apart, and we're about 5 meters higher in elevation above the soil. Yeah. So.
4.
Yep.
All this all the way down the corner. There's no big trees in there.
Yeah.
And it's coastal heath. I don't think it would have, like all the front, like at Brannup, the front side of the hill, that whole ridge, the Leeuwin Ridge, that carries up to the top of the hill, but on the northwest side of the whole, all the way to Ellingup. That's all this though.
Yes.
On the coast side.
Yeah.
That last hill.
That's what I'm thinking.
But you get carries right, like the furthest north carries are at Injun wide up rocks. Like I used to live right there, and on the inward side, like here, there's some huge carries in the most furthest north standard carries. But same again, you get to the top of the hill and it becomes sand again. But so you got another, call it a kilometre that way, and this water wraps around the back of these properties, down low, around there. So all that's wet through winter. Yeah, around the bottom. This goes a bit like that, but the water's low through there. Goes out into your paddock, changes the soil right there. Then it crosses the road, the water, and then goes all the way down to the beach to Deep Dean, it's called. And that's where it changes. That might have been the gutter where it all ran back out to sea.
In the next episode. We travel to Perth, Western Australia, to investigate the coastal sand dunes at Swanbourne, and we look at possible tsunami chevrons at Bold Park with the help of Google Maps. Stay tuned.